Привет, друзья! Спасибо за просмотр. Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome back to Singer Dad Reacts. My name is Josh, and I am here to do a reaction of Diana Ankudinova. This is one that you guys have been asking for a while, and so I'm happy to step forward with this. It's the Can't Help Falling in Love. And I believe the story behind this, based on what I read, is that it is a competition where they have like contestants, maybe even winners from the different competition shows, including The Mask, The Super, and the You Are Super, which is the one that Diana is from. So I believe that's the show, and I believe it's called the show Mask Go On. So they kind of did a play on words there with adding the mask in. Yeah, so I believe they do different songs, different weeks, and I think the judges are the ones that request different songs for the different performers. And I think that this one is from week 1, if I recall. So I'm excited to see another performance. One of the reasons I chose Diana is there's a lot going on in the world right now, and the message of my channel is even more important, I think, now as we kind of look at what's going on with war and everything else that is happening within the world. And music can light the world, and we can come together, and there can be love and peace, I'm hoping. So I have to say one more thing. I studied a few phrases in Russian. So hopefully the one that I said there, the spasiba phrase that I said was accurate, and I said it correctly. There's one more that I found, and it is box the boy, which I believe means God be with you. And so I would say that to all of you out there from Russia and of course Ukraine and beyond. And I really hope and pray that God can help all of the leaders that are involved to come to some accord, and we can come back to a place of peace. Anyway, I don't usually comment on stuff like that, but I felt like saying a little bit about that, given that it's very real to some of you out there. And I consider all of you my friends, and I'm concerned about you and your safety and your loved ones and so on. So I hope all is well on that front. So for those of you that are new to my channel, one of the things that I like to do at the beginning is to kind of go through the lyrics and kind of talk to what the message of the song is. One thing that I did learn about Diana, I watched an interview that she did with a gentleman. It was a Turkish gentleman. I'll put a link in the description down below if you guys want to go and check that out. It was a pretty good interview, and I think it was from a couple years ago. But he asked her about how she just immerses herself in the song, and I love what she said. She said, "I lived the song," and then she went on to say, "I kind of enter a trance during the song, and then I don't really remember a lot about what I did during the song." So it's like, and I was picking up on that. If you've watched any of my reactions, it's part of what I was picking up on, that she just completely enters the song and tells the story, and she's entranced by it. And that's a really good thing that she said there that is accurate for what I've seen as to what she does. And I'm sure that she'll do the same thing here. So if you are new to my channel, or if you don't care to hear the lyrics or go through this part of my reaction, feel free to jump ahead. I have everything sectioned out in the YouTube video. You just have to hover over it and then click on the next checkpoint there to go directly to my reaction. So if that's you, feel free to skip forward and do that. Can't Help Falling in Love. Love this one. Elvis Presley's awesome, of course, and this is one of my favorites he did. Original songwriters: George Weiss, Hugo Peretti, Luigi Creator. And it looks like what I found on Lyric Translate for the set of lyrics tied to this performance, they were trimmed down from the original. So this is what it said the lyrics are. So I'm wondering how she does this and whether there are other things she does with her voice outside of the actual words during the course of the song. So it says, wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. And then it repeats, but I can't help falling in love with you because I can't help falling in love with you. So there's a whole different set of lyrics from the original, but this is what it said in Lyric Translate that is associated with this performance. So I guess we will see as we watch it together whether that's the case. So before I move on to the reaction real quick, if you haven't already, if you could please support the channel, click on the like and subscribe and the notifications bell there to be notified of any new reactions. I'm going to try to do more coming up here. I've been dealing with kind of a sore throat and not really having a voice for a long time here, kind of post-COVID type stuff after I had COVID in probably the third week of January is when I had it. So I haven't really had the voice to do reactions. That's been part of why I haven't been able to do any recently. And I'm also working on other projects like my book. So I haven't mentioned that in a long time since I kind of first started my channel, but I'm actually an author, and I wrote a middle grade sci-fi fantasy book called Lithogal, the Prophecy. You can see it here. So, and so this is book 1. You can kind of see from the spine there. And I'm actually working on book 2 right now for this series. And so I'm kind of doing a lot with, of course, writing book 2 and also going out and talking to some of the local middle graders here about creative writing and kind of introducing them to my book and things like that. So I've had a lot of those activities. I always have in my description a link to my author website. You may not have seen it before, but it's in all my descriptions for my reactions. If you want to click on that and go check out that part of what I do. I've thought about kind of adding another channel to what I do and having it be like, writer dad or author dad and kind of do reviews for books and things like that. And kind of have some of my author stuff on that separate channel. So I'm curious if you're interested in that part of what I do. If you want to make a comment down below, that would be very helpful to know if there are those out there that are interested in that. With that, I'm going to move forward here to the reaction. And I do have the subtitles turned on here so I can see the English subtitles from the judges and things like that. So let's jump right in here. I'm excited. That's a cool shot. Interesting.
Wise men say,
Listen to that.
only fools rush in.
Ooh,
But I
that's low.
can't help falling in love with you.
Wow. Each time I hear Deanna sing, and it's like later on in her timeline, she's improved in measurable ways, and the same is true here. What she's doing that's very hard is she's singing in the lower part of her range. She's also singing very quietly, and she's adding that resonance or that kind of vibrato, which means she's adding to add more air to support that and add that resonance in there. And she's also having to kind of do things correctly up here to get that to come through. So a lot of that shows the work that she's put in and to build out her voice and strengthen it and learn good technique and all that. So it's just, she's awesome. Let me just go back a little bit, make sure I don't miss anything.
falling in love with you.
Her English has gotten better as well. Oh, she jumped up. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's cool. Look at her. She's just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, wow. Sorry, I stopped at a bad spot there. It looks like that's higher for her, but she's definitely been working on her head voice and on that upper part of her range. And her control is, she's just improving on all those different areas. The way that she's like, she slid up to that, and man, she also does really well, and she's improving on this area as well with the dynamics, right? We've talked about that together here on my channel, right? As far as how important that is in telling the story. And she, just in that one phrase, you saw her kind of come out, and she was, that first part of the phrase was powerful, and then she backed off and then had more of kind of this, softer tone coming through. So she's not just, she could easily just go out there and just belt it out there and it would be super powerful and just hit them, but she's so intent, just like she said in her interview, right, on telling the story and, putting the feeling into the song that it deserves and what it's talking about, right? So let me go back so I don't miss this kind of transition here. That's the part where she backed off. And then she changed it up a little bit on the end of that phrase. See how open she is? Oh, wow. And now she's back down. See how she's just looking? That was a really smooth jump. Wow. I've got chills. I don't often get goosebumps or chills or anything like that during a performance, but that was... And I always forget to mention it. That's one thing I always kick myself for later. I'm like, man, I really felt something during that song and I forgot to mention it during my reaction. So I'm going to try to do better about that. But yeah, that was, I don't know if that's the end or not. That seems like there's a lot of time left. It might be the post-judge stuff. Sometimes on these shows, the talking of the judges after and stuff gets hit hard with the copyright. So I don't know if I'll keep it in there or not. We'll have to see kind of how it plays out. One Wow. She's an amazing performer and a vocalist. I mean, she's always been a really strong performer and she's always been strong vocally, but now she's like improving her voice and adding different elements to the vocal part of it. And so it's like that whole package is coming through more now. I love how she is just like, you could see during that one part, I'll go back here, right? And again, look at her mouth right there. See how open that is? I mean, she's been working on the vocal technique aspect and really trying to get that resonance and allow that sound to travel through. You can kind of see her cheeks are lifted a little bit. So again, we talked about that as well. That's kind of the singer smile type thing, and it adds additional resonance because you're lifting your soft palate to allow that sound to kind of come through. And then her tongue is forward. So I mean, these are little things that she's obviously been working on that have helped her really improve her voice in a remarkable way. I'm going to go back a little bit here because this was just... And look at the judges. They're just captivated. It's awesome. Just go back a little bit. See how she's just focused in on it. Look at this guy. And now she's tilting the larynx back and going to this kind of deeper sound. See that? She just... That's a hard jump she did there too. Wow. Her mind is blown. Oh, my little one, are you crying? Wow. That's awesome. Good for her.
Любые слова излишни. Диана Анкудинова.
No words are needed.
Все встали.
Everyone is on their feet. Thank you very much.
Браво.
Well, that's my new favorite Diana performance. And I can see why all of you wanted me to watch it. I don't know how to explain it. They talked about it, about the power and the resonance of what she was singing and how it just seemed to fill them or touch them in some way. And I had the same experience. And I can't explain it either. It's just, there was something magical about the way that she performed. It was just really powerful. And I was not expecting to get emotional or to be touched in that way from this performance. But she pulled it off, and bravo to her. You know, her story is just awesome. You know, it's just so inspiring to me to see somebody that was in her situation at such a young age, that was taken in by loving people at a very young age, and you know, they worked with her and helped her, and she had all these teachers and people working with her on speech and singing and yodeling and all these different things. This is what it's all about, you know, rising up to meet the challenges that we face. We all are going to face challenges in our lives, and we're going to have weaknesses. We're going to have slip-ups. We're going to have bad things happen. But if we can rise above that and find a way to use what we've been given, in Deanna's case, her talent, to touch others and to be a light to the world and to those around us, that's what it's all about. And if that's just your family or whoever that is, it's very important that we do that. And that's really the message of my channel and what I try to convey, and how I believe about life and the way I try to approach my family and my interactions with others. And believe me, I have a long ways to go. And sometimes part of what I need to work on is dealing with negative comments on my channel, right? That's something that I need to just kind of, as others have said, put aside, ignore the negative comments, and go with the positive. The other thing that I noticed that I neglected to point out during her performance was her utilization of gestures, right? So this is something that helps in multiple ways. It helps to bring the power of the message through for the song. And I think in her case, she's feeling it from her core. I think that's what the judges were picking up on when they were talking about how they just felt the resonance and being, they felt touched from the performance, was because she was so completely, like I said before, in trance, those are her words, with the story of the song, and locked in with that performance, and conveying the message of those words, that the gestures were just a natural projection of the feelings that she was having during the song. The other thing that her vocal coaches may have worked with her on regarding gestures is something that my wife works with her students on. She's a voice teacher and has been for over 20 years. And I've seen her work with them. She'll do things like having them, gesture here or do something here or move a little bit. And part of the reason for that is the vocal mechanism is not just limited to the larynx and, the soft palate, the mask, the throat, the mouth, the tongue, all these different things that are involved. The mechanism includes the whole body, right? Just like when you hear vocal coaches talk about, they should not be moving their shoulders. If their shoulders are tensing, that can affect the voice, or if their neck gets tight, different things like that. It's all related. It's all tied in. Also, sitting is harder to sing because of your body position. So it's all related. The whole body is involved. And it's neat to see her just really gain that freedom of expression and that knowledge of how to bring that performance and help with, all of the different aspects of the voice through her whole body. But I would say this was amazing. And thank you so much for recommending this. It was incredible. I can see why on the thumbnails for the reactors that I've seen that have reacted to this, where they're just flabbergasted and blown away, because the same thing happened to me and to all of the judges. Deanna's just amazing. So I'll close my reaction the way that I do with all my reactions, and that is to say, you need to know that you are special, you are loved, and you can accomplish your dreams. And I sincerely hope that for each of you, and that you feel that, and you have others in your life that help you to feel loved and happy. And I hope that there is peace and safety in your lives right now. And I thank you for all of your support, and take care.